Have you ever felt like your mind is just, well, like a runaway train?
Yeah.
Like you have way too many tabs open in your brain all at the same time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
1 minute, it's the massive to-do list. The next, it's, I don't know, that slightly awkward thing you said 5 years ago.
Or that email you forgot to send.
Exactly. For me, it's usually that email I thought I sent yesterday. And then boom, suddenly you're spiraling into worrying about tomorrow.
It's that exact feeling, isn't it? As if you're just sort of a passenger being taken for a ride by your own thoughts, your emotions, instead of, being the one actually driving.
Precisely. So, okay, what if you could learn to grab the controls? What if you could actually become, well, the pilot of your own mind? Mm-hmm. And look, we're not talking about turning into some kind of, I don't know, emotionless robot here.
No, not at all.
This is more about consciously directing your focus, calming stress when it hits, and really challenging those thoughts that might be holding you back.
And that's really the core mission for you in this deep dive. We're going to dig into 3 powerful science-backed methods. These came out of a presentation called the Mind's Control Panel, which was delivered back on August 1st, 2025.
Okay.
And these aren't just like abstract ideas, they're practical tools you can actually start using right away.
Right, let's get into it then. We'll start with that immediate emergency brake for when things feel overwhelming.
Yeah.
Then we'll look at how you can actively reshape your internal dialogue, that inner voice. Mm-hmm. And finally, how to build up that sort of foundational mental strength for sustained calm, almost like building a muscle, you said.
Exactly like building a muscle.
Yeah.
So our first stop is method number 1. We're calling it the physiological anchor.
The physiological anchor.
Think of this as your instant disruptor. For those moments when stress, maybe anxiety, even anger starts to really take over.
Okay, so how does that work? Is it just about telling yourself to calm down?
Well, no, it's actually more direct.
Yeah.
A really critical insight here is understanding how much your physical state impacts your mental state.
Right.
So when you're stressed, your body automatically goes into fight or flight mode. That's your sympathetic nervous system kicking in heart races, breathing gets shallow.
Right, I know that feeling.
Yeah. So to counter that, you need to deliberately activate the opposite system, the rest and digest system. That's the parasympathetic nervous system.
Okay.
It's not just about wanting to calm down. It's about directly hacking into your vagus nerve. That's like the superhighway for calm in your body.
Hacking the vagus nerve. I like that.
And by doing that, you tell your brain's default mode network, which often fuels that anxiety loop. You tell it to quiet down. It's like a biofeedback loop you can actually control, shifting your internal state instantly.
Right.
From reactive to more receptive.
Wow. Okay, so how do we actually do that? What's the technique?
The go-to technique is maybe surprisingly simple. It's called box breathing.
Box breathing. I think I've heard of this. Isn't this something like really high performers use? Navy SEALs, surgeons, people like that.
That's exactly right.
So why is something so seemingly simple, so effective under, extreme pressure?
Because it works directly on that vagal nerve, which is so closely tied to your breath. It's really straightforward. Just imagine the 4 equal sides of a box. You simply, 1, inhale slowly for a count of 4.
Okay, inhale for 4.
2, hold your breath again for a count of 4.
Hold it for 4.
3, exhale slowly, also for a count of 4.
Exhale 4.
And 4, you hold again at the bottom after the exhale for another count of 4.
So inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4, like a box.
Exactly. That deliberate paced breathing, it sends an immediate signal to your brain saying, hey, you're safe. Mm-hmm. Regardless of what chaos might be happening around you. It's a direct physiological intervention. It anchors you right here in the present moment, and it stops that spiral of stress before it, completely takes over.
And you just repeat that cycle maybe 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, 4 or 5 cycles is usually enough to feel a real shift.
And the great thing is, it's so discreet.
Yeah.
You could literally do it anywhere, right? In a tense meeting, stuck in traffic, before you give a presentation.
Anywhere. Nobody even needs to know you're doing it.
That's pretty powerful, just having that tool always available.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you've used the anchor, you're feeling a bit more present. But what about those persistent, nagging thoughts? The ones that just keep coming back.
Ah, yes. That brings us nicely to method number 2, the thought editor.
The thought editor, okay.
This is specifically for tackling those relentless loops. You know the ones, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, or maybe this is definitely going to be a disaster.
Yeah, those are familiar, right.
So the really crucial idea to grasp here is that a thought, It's just a sentence in your head.
Just a sentence.
Just a sentence. It's not necessarily fact, even though it can feel very factual. So your job isn't to wrestle the thought into submission. It's more about becoming a curious but firm editor of that thought.
An editor.
Yeah. Think of those negative thought patterns like deep ruts in a muddy road. Your brain just keeps driving down them because it's easy. It's habit.
Okay.
So the thought editor isn't just about changing one sentence in the moment. It's about actively rerouting that mental traffic. It's about building new, smoother cognitive highways over time.
Okay, I like that analogy. So how do you actually edit your own thoughts, especially when they feel so real, so overwhelming in the moment?
It's a great question. The source outlines a really clear 3-step process. Catch, challenge, and change.
Catch, challenge, change. Okay.
So first, you catch the thought, which just means noticing it without judgment, if possible.
Easier said than done, maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But let's take an example. Say the thought pops up. I'm going to completely fail this important presentation.
Okay.
The catch step is simply acknowledging it, okay, there's that I'm going to fail thought again.
Just noticing it.
Just noticing it. And you raised a good point. It sounds simple, but it can be really tough when emotions are high.
Right. How do you even start that noticing without getting sort of swept away by the thought itself?
That's the key, isn't it? It's like trying to catch a greased pig sometimes.
Yeah.
The trick is to not see it as a failure if you don't catch it immediately. The win is in the moment you do notice it, even if it's later. That noticing itself, that's building the skill. It's an opportunity, not a test you fail.
Okay, so catch it when you can. Don't beat yourself up if you miss it initially. What's next?
Yeah.
Challenge.
Exactly. Step 2, challenge it. Like a detective investigating a claim. You ask yourself questions about the thought. Is it 100% true that I am definitely going to fail? Absolutely, 100% certain.
Probably not 100%.
Right. Have I prepared at all? Have I ever given a successful presentation before, even a small one? What's a more balanced, more realistic view of this whole situation?
Okay, question the validity.
Precisely. So, for instance, a more accurate challenge thought might be something like, okay, I'm nervous about the presentation, sure, but I have prepared for it. And you know what? I'm capable of doing a decent job.
So you're looking for evidence against the negative thought.
Exactly. You're introducing nuance and realism. And then the final step is change.
Change.
This is where you consciously, deliberately replace that original automatic negative thought with the new, more realistic, more balanced one you just formulated.
So you actively swap them out in your head.
You actively practice thinking the new thought. It's like rewriting a really unhelpful sentence in your mental script into one that's actually constructive. You're choosing a different path for your brain to take.
And does that actually change things long term?
That's the fascinating part. Over time, consistent practice with this catch, challenge, change method actually starts to, physically change your brain. It weakens those old negative neural pathways, those deep ruts literally begin to fill in, making it harder for your brain to just automatically slip back into them. And at the same time, you're actively strengthening the new, more constructive pathways you're creating. It's genuine neuroplasticity in action. You're effectively rewiring your brain to be more efficient at generating helpful thoughts rather than unhelpful ones.
That's incredible. It's like you're literally reshaping your mind.
You are. Slowly, perhaps, but surely.
Okay, so we've got the physiological anchor for immediate stress, the thought editor for tackling those negative loops. What's the third method? You mentioned something about building muscle.
Yes, exactly. So while the first two are kind of immediate interventions or active reshaping tools, this third one is more about proactively building resilience and mental fitness. We shift from reaction to, let's call it, sustained mental training.
Okay.
Method number 3 is the focus gym.
The focus gym. I like it. Training for the mind.
Precisely. This is about training your brain for sustained attention, just like you'd train, say, your biceps in a real gym. The most common practice here is often called mindfulness meditation.
Mindfulness. Okay. I feel like there are a lot of misconceptions about that one. Like you're supposed to just empty your mind completely.
That's probably the biggest misconception. And you're right, it's actually impossible to just empty your mind. Our brains are thought-generating machines.
Right. They never stop.
Never. So mindfulness isn't about stopping thoughts. It's about training your attention, learning where to place it and how to bring it back when it wanders.
Okay, so how does that work in practice? How do you start training attention?
It's incredibly simple to begin. The basic instructions are usually something like this. Find a comfortable place to sit. You can close your eyes if that feels right. And then you just bring your full attention to one thing. The physical sensation of your breath.
Just the breath.
Just the physical feeling. Feeling the air moving in through your nose or mouth. Maybe noticing your chest or belly rising as your lungs fill, and then the sensation as the air moves back out. That's it. That's the anchor point for your attention.
Okay. But here's the thing, right? My mind, anyone's mind, is going to wander off almost immediately. You start thinking about lunch or that email you need to write or literally anything but the breath.
Exactly. It will wander. That's absolutely guaranteed.
So if the goal is sustained focus,
Yeah.
how is all that wandering actually helping? Doesn't that mean I'm failing at it?
This is the absolute crux of the whole practice. The wandering isn't a failure, it's the opportunity.
No.
Every single time your mind drifts off and you notice it drifting, and then you gently, without judgment, guide your attention back to the sensation of your breath.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just practicing focus, you're strengthening something called metacognitive awareness. Your ability to simply observe your own thoughts without getting totally swept away by them.
Metacognitive awareness.
Yeah.
Observing your thoughts.
Right, which is a foundational skill for pretty much all forms of self-regulation. So that act of noticing the wandering and gently returning your focus, that is the bicep curl for your brain.
The bicep curl for the brain. I love that.
Every time you do it, you are actively strengthening your ability to direct your attention exactly where you choose to put it, not just during meditation, but in life.
And the recommendation isn't like hours a day, right? It's starting small.
Absolutely. Start small. Just 3 to 5 minutes a day can make a real difference, especially when you're starting out. Consistency is much more important than duration initially.
It's amazing to think how much mental space those repetitive thoughts or distractions can occupy.
Huge amounts.
And how these small, consistent efforts, like just a few minutes of focusing on the breath, can start to reclaim some of that.
It's precisely that consistent, gentle effort that truly builds the muscle of focus over time. It enables you to bring that intentional awareness to any task, any conversation, any moment you choose.
Okay, so let's just bring this all together for you listening. We've walked through 3 really profound but also practical ways to start becoming more the director of your own mind, based on that mind's control panel source. First, we had the physiological anchor, using something simple like dog's breathing to instantly calm your body and mind in moments of stress by directly influencing your nervous system.
Right, that immediate break.
Then the thought editor, using that catch, challenge, change process to really examine and fundamentally rewire how you process those sticky negative thoughts, not just batting away, but actually changing the patterns.
Building those new pathways, yeah.
And finally, the focus gym, using simple mindfulness meditation, not to empty the mind, but to proactively train your attention, strengthening your ability to focus one breath, one return at a time, like those bicep curls.
Exactly. And the key takeaway from the source material really is this. This isn't about achieving perfection. It's not about never having a negative thought or never feeling stressed again.
Right. That sounds impossible.
It is. It's about consistent practice.
Yeah.
The more you use these tools, the anchor, the editor, the gym, the more you'll discover that while you can't always control what happens around you, you have far more power than you might currently realize to influence and control what happens within you.
You really do have a control panel.
You have a control panel. It's just about learning how to use it and maybe starting to use it more intentionally.
So maybe a final thought for you to mull over until our next deep dive.
Okay.
How might intentionally practicing these small acts of mental self-direction, just a few minutes of box breathing here, challenging a thought there, a short focus session, how might doing that daily over time fundamentally reshape not just your immediate reactions, but your whole overall sense of, I guess, agency and resilience? Especially in this world we live in with constant information, constant demands.
That's a great question to sit with. How could it change things?